this video, I am going to present to you one of the tasks required in the interim visit phase, which is to completely fill in the questionnaire about internal control, accounts receivable, and credit sales. Through the use of the questionnaire, we are able to consider or map out the weaknesses of Sheridan AV pertaining to the current sales system. The first part of the questionnaire: can only approved customers be included in the sales ledger? So, do all prospective customers undergo credit approval procedures? So, we put no. Second, must a standard signed application form be submitted? We have put yes. Are two forms of identity obtained and details checked to application form? So we put yes also. Are credit references obtained? So we put no. Are credit limits set for all credit customers? We put yes. Are credit limits reviewed every 3 months where debtor days exceed 3 months, where the debtor balance exceeds 75% of the credit limit? So we put no. Next, where a credit limit is set above 100, is this based on either a recent set of published accounts or past transaction history? So we put no. Are all new account applications signed as authorized by the accounts manager? So we put yes. The next part: can orders only be accepted for recognized customers within their credit limit? The first question: are credit sales orders accepted only for approved customers on the sales ledger? So we put yes. Are all orders checked against the current sales ledger balance? We also put yes. Are all orders that take the balance to within 75% of the credit limit passed to the sales manager for approval? So we put no. Do all orders record an order approval reference number or get signed by the credit controller? So we put yes. Is an aged debtor analysis prepared each month? So we put no. Are systems of chasing letters or solicitors letters in place for all balances outside of payment terms? So we put no. Are customers in default immediately put on stop? So we put no. So next, do all goods dispatched result in a customer being invoiced? Are orders recorded on a pre-numbered sales order? So we put yes. Are pre-numbered goods dispatch notes raised for all goods taken from stores? We put yes. Can a goods dispatch note only be raised on the basis of an approved sales order? So we put yes. Are GDNs matched or retained with sales orders? We also put yes. Does someone independent of the warehouse check goods leaving the premises with the related GDNs? We also put yes. Do customers sign for all goods accepted? We put yes. Are any queries agreed with the driver and recorded the GDN? We also put yes. Do both parties sign the amendments to the GDN? We also put yes. Are signed GDNs or orders checked backed in by the warehouse and any changes approved? We also put yes. Thus the warehouse manager checked the sequence of the GDNs to ensure all returned by the driver? We also put yes. Are all GDNs passed to the sales department or sales ledger department? We put yes. Are all invoices raised based on the GDN set? We also put yes. Is a copy of GDN reference to the sales invoice number and filed in numerical order? So we put no. Thus the accounts manager checked the sequence of process GDNs each month, we also put no. Thus, the accounts manager check invoices for accuracy and validity based on approved sales order, GDN, and price list. So we put yes. So next we have, are all invoices raised recorded in the sales ledger? Is the invoicing assistant a different person to the sales ledger assistant? We put yes. Are invoices recorded in the sales daybook in numerical order? We put yes. Thus, the accounts manager checked the sequence of invoices recorded in the sales daybook each month. We put no. Is the sales ledger assistant a different person to the invoicing assistant? We put yes. Are the sales daybook totals posted to the main ledger by the accounts manager? We put yes. Is sales ledger control account reconciliation performed by the accounts manager every month? So we put yes. Are statements issued monthly to active sales ledger accounts? We put yes. Is the statement run check against the list of balances by the accounts manager? We also put yes. Next, can items in the sales ledger only be cleared by valid payment, credit note, or journal entry? Are all credit notes approved by the sales manager? We put yes. Does the accounts manager review all material credit notes issued during the month? We put no. Can journal entries only be entered by the accounts manager? So we put no. Are cash receipts posted from the cash book each month? We put yes. Is sales ledger control account reconciliation performed by the accounts manager every month? So we put yes. So now in the last part of the questionnaire, is all cash received correctly identified, recorded, posted, and promptly banked? Is all cash received in the post recorded immediately into a cash diary to which it is cross-referenced? So we put no. Do at least 2 people open the post? We put no. Is all cash received then passed immediately to the cashier intact? So we put yes. Is the cash receipts book written up by the cashier before lunch each day? So we put no. Is cash banked daily? We also put no. Is cash banked intact? We put yes. Is the time and route of daily banking varied each day? So we put yes. Is proper insurance held to cover loss on the premises or in transit? So we put no. Is fidelity insurance in place for all staff? We put no. Is all cash retained on site kept in a locked safe? We put yes. Thus, the accounts manager checked a sample of cash diary, daily takings to the cash book. We put no. Is the cash book posted to the sales ledger by someone different to the cashier? So we put yes. So now we are in the weaknesses in the current sales system. So first, sales orders are accepted from prospective customers through telephone calls. So the implication, there is an increased risk of customer argument or conflict over orders dispatched and may result losses to Sheridan AV. There is also increased risk of loss to the company as products may be delivered against fraudulent orders placed with the company. So recommendation, Sheridan AV should introduce strong methods to facilitate clear and certain client ordering process. This should incorporate a necessity to forward to Sheridan AV a completely detailed authorized purchase order, For huge or unusual orders, methods ought to be adjusted to ensure checking and authorization by the sales manager as a means of extra control prior to order acceptance. So next, as bank validates, the employee will no longer check the credit worthiness of a customer. As to implication, there is an increased risk that Sheridan AV will incur losses as customers may obtain bad debts and risk of loss as a result of delivering to spurious customers. Recommendation: Sheridan AV should implement a thorough procedure upon checking the background of prospective customers, obtaining bank references, and determining customer credibility. Next, acceptance of customers with bad debt history. Implication: there is an increased risk that Sheridan AV will incur losses as a consequence of customers not paying at all. Recommendation: Sheridan AV should establish a formal credit policy where specific credit evaluation criteria is presented, as well as the payment terms, penalties, and interest accruals. Sheridan AV should also create credit application forms for customers before granting them credit, ask references from other creditors, and verify customers' bank account information. Next, inadequate audit trail of sales transactions. Implication: there is an increased risk that Sheridan AV's accounting information and records will be incomplete and inaccurate regarding sales transaction. Recommendation: accounts office staff should continually monitor the sequence numbers of copy delivery notes and sales invoices received and processed to guarantee completeness of processing sales transaction. Next, inadequate controls over the opening of customers' accounts and the sales receivable ledger. Implication: there is an increased risk that Sheridan AV will incur loss due to uncreditworthy customers. Recommendation: strict control should be kept over the updating of the sales receivable master file, with suitable segregation of duties for sales and account staff, and the authorization of new client accounts by a capable official of the company. And lastly, the password of the locked safe where cash is kept are known by 2 other employees. Implication: there is an increased risk that employees may be tempted to commit fraudulent acts. Recommendation: Sheridan AV should only assign an independent and trusted employee about keeping and guarding the company's cash. Information relating to the company's safe should be kept private among persons responsible for it.
So we are here in the interim visit 2. This all relates to Sheridan AV's purchasing processes. It is based on the interviews and the summaries of purchasing processes that has been provided. In the interim visit 2, we have here purchasing processes to summarize it out. Purchasing processes. It is the formal process of buying goods and services. The purchasing process can vary from one organization to another, but there are some common key elements. The process usually starts with the demand requirements. This can be for a physical part or a service. So here is the purchasing systems control questionnaires that must be completed. So we have here the purchase and payments, which shows the function in the first column, potential misstatement, necessary control, possible test of operating effectiveness, and you have to fill the initials date. In the second part, the trade payables. Errors and irregularities include purchases may have been recorded to the wrong account, a liability may have been set up for a fictitious company, the purchase and liability may have been recorded in the wrong accounting period, a purchase or liability may have been omitted, purchases may have been recorded but the merchandise may not been received. So in the table, the question is, has a purchase requisition to be raised for all purchases? The answer is yes, because by using this document, the process is formal and it provides the company internal control over the purchasing process. It is necessary to be authorized by the management and anybody can raise a purchase requisition. Second is the purchase requisition pre-numbered? Yes. It is necessary that it should be pre-numbered to make sure that all transactions are recorded, and a good internal control must have this. Then, has a purchase order to be raised for all purchases? Yes. It is essential to be authorized by the management and anybody can raise a purchase requisition. Then, are purchase orders pre-numbered? Yes. Purchase that is pre-numbered makes certain that it can identify missing orders and it is complete. Do purchase orders have to be approved? Yes, it must be approved to be legal contract on all the required action. The account and admin manager needs to approve it. The purchase requisition is delivered to Jenna Jackson and she is the one who prepares the purchase order and it is given to the supplier right away. Are vendors' monthly statements reconciled to the purchase ledger? Yes. Jenna Jackson reconciles it to the relevant purchase ledger account and she practices a corrective measure. If it does not reconcile, the vendor is the one who will modify it manually. Reconciling the vendor statements guarantee that there are no mistakes between what the vendor is charging and the vendoree, service or supplies received. Do adjustment to accounts payable require the approval of a responsible official? Yes, it is required. The one who performs it is the account manager and practices a preventive measure to disregard the risk of misstatement. Are all vendors' invoices checked for proper pricing extensions, footings and terms? Yes, checked and approved by the account manager. Does the company ensure that claims for damaged merchandise are processed promptly? Yes. The personnel in charge in the warehouse take precautionary actions if there is damage or problem in the delivery or merchandise. Are unmatched invoices, receiving reports, and purchase invoices reviewed periodically? Yes. Timely reconciliation is performed by Jenna Jackson with the vendor's relevant accounts. Are supporting documents reviewed by check signers prior to payment? Yes. Can help prevent the risk of fraud. It must be reviewed from purchase ledger to the authorization of the payment that it will be signed by the check signers. Are supporting documents stamped and sealed by the check signers? No. Stamp supporting documents are attached on the check already before signing and it's not concealed by the check signers. Are checks mailed directly by the person signing the check and not returned to the bearers? No, the check signer will be the one who will deliver the check to eliminate the risk of fraud.